All right, sprinters, today we talk retainment. That's the stage of your sales funnel that is the cheapest and the most interesting to optimize because you can increase lifetime value without increasing costs. So we have to look at it, right? So if you remember the stages, we have awareness, engagement, closing, delivering, retaining. Today we look at retaining. If you want to go into the other stages, just check the other videos. Now, the retainment one is the fun part because with some small tweaks, you can create many millions in recurring revenues because these are people who love you already. They are your current clients. Now, the question is, how can you help them stick around? Are you ready? Let's go. The retainment part is the fun part. And it's easy and it's cheap. Cheap in terms of cost of acquisition of a client. So what does it cost? Maybe I share with you here some slides. What does it cost to acquire a customer? Let's look at this in our funnel example of the last weeks. So what does it cost to you to acquire a customer, let's say from LinkedIn? So if you would pay ads, which we don't recommend, then you could pay around $200 for a customer, maybe even more on LinkedIn. Then, especially after the recent changes. So if you want to get people from knowing them from a networking event, what's the cost of that? Well, think of the opportunity cost. You have spent 2 days in Austin, 2 days flying there and flying back. It's 4 days. What does it cost for you 4 days to not sell anything else because you were in Austin at that conference? So it's very expensive, okay? Cost of acquisition of a client can be here $200, can be here, it can be even $15,000, 4 days of your time. What does it cost on YouTube to acquire a customer? Again, it can be $300 on average, and we are not counting your time or the editing team's time. So it's above $300. And so what does it cost for you to acquire customers from joint venture partnerships? That's much cheaper, actually. That's why we like it. This is something that we really like. And then gigs. You are on stages, on podcasts of other people. What does it cost? That's okay, cheap. It's just your time. But it's quite optimized. You jump in there, you deliver, you jump out. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and you're out. Unless you go to Joe Rogan, then it's longer. But then it's also worth it, right? And the gigs. So that's the cost of acquisition of a client. And in this stage here, the cost of acquisition are high. But we are talking now here. We are after closing. We are in the delivery. They are already happy. What does it cost you to retain them? And that's much cheaper. And I will show you exactly what to do after one word from our sponsors. What if your business would run well even when you are on vacation? Discover how 1,600 business owners have regained their freedom using the Strategy Sprints blueprints. How they enjoy living their dream and watching their business scale. Get the exact checklists they use to go from stressed to fulfilled using the Strategy Sprints method. Order your copy of Strategy Sprints 12 Ways to Accelerate Growth for an Agile Business on Amazon today. And if you love it, leave us a review. For more information, head over to strategysprints.com. So we want to keep people around, retainment. How can we do it? Technically, it's either upsell or cross-sell. Upsell is the same thing, bigger with more features, with more depth. And cross-selling is something else. What else do you have? What else can I help you with? So we are seeing many things working well. Let me share one of those examples because I think it's a pretty smart one from a B2B business. So this client he is a strategy advisor for blockchain teams, right? And blockchain teams, like, people like the people who are building these cool blockchain projects, they have very similar problems, right? They have, let's say, their top 3 problems. So our client helps them solve them. And now we were brainstorming, how can you retain them? And that has led to him cutting completely marketing expenses. He doesn't need marketing expenses anymore because the 50 clients that he was already delivering to, now he can retain 40 of them. And we came up with something pretty simple, but very, very effective. So the question is, they came for a specific solution to a problem. How can they stick around? What is it that makes them stick around? And so in his case, he was having 50 clients. They are homogeneous. They have similar problems. So the sprint coach asked, what if they can solve problems together now? Because you helped them for 6 months solving their main problem. How do you build the team and how do you build the technical specs? But now they might have also many other problems like hiring, firing, sales, marketing, whatever. What if they want to learn it from each other? What if you connect them? You create a community where they can find referral partners and they can solve each other problems and they can hang out. Because it's very helpful for people in a similar setting with similar problems to talk to each other and say, hey, how do you hire people? How do you fire people? Where do you find a good videographer? That's just helpful. So what they designed is, all right, I have all those clients, they have similar problems. What if I set up a community, call it the blockchain mastermind, and make it 12,000 per year and say, now we have solved these problems with you. You are now in this part of your journey. I think you don't need me as an advisor so much anymore, but you need your peers. Hey, there are 49 people like you in this community. What is it worth to you to hang out with them? And so he priced it 12,000. He has now a community that's generating an additional revenue stream because 40 times 12,000 is also some good money. And those people stick around. So you are creating more and more value without doing anything. You just have to hold the space, right? You have to have, of course, some moderators and facilitators, and sometimes you bring inputs, and you can bring people who bring inputs. Guess what? That's your next JV system, right? You bring experts in from your network and you say you can teach your stuff there. So you create stages again from people that are already sold. So it's 0 cost of acquisition of a client. Plus, you bring them more value. So you bring now a monthly person who, from your joint venture partners list, who can teach there and create some value. Now you have created win-win-win. So you have a community, which is retainment for your current clients. You're doing 12K on top of that annual recurring revenue. Then you are bringing in monthly experts from your network. So you are building your joint venture list and you're offering them something that in return, they can offer you a stage or an email promotion. And that's the second win. So, and you have the win for your client, which is they came for a problem solution, but they found a whole community of 50 other people who have the similar problems and they can learn from, and they can, really openly talk about what's not working, what's working, how tough it is, and what they have found really working. And so that's pretty smart. We run one of those communities. It is really cool for everybody. It's win-win-win. And that's a very smart way of doing this. And it's just one example that we came up with in a quick brainstorm with a sprint coach. So if you're thinking about retainment, it is worth putting a couple hours per week in brainstorms about that and in really testing stuff, building small prototypes and delivering them and measuring the input, the outcomes, because the cost of acquisition is so much lower on the retainment side. So that was the arc of our sales funnel videos. We did the overview, we did the awareness stage, engagement stage, the closing stage, delivering stage, and this was retainment. Let me know what you need next. I'm out for today. Keep rolling.
Hey, if you love what you are hearing, you will love our free masterclasses. Go grab them at strategysprints.com.
What if your business would run well even when you are on vacation? Discover how 1,600 business owners have regained their freedom using the Strategy Sprints blueprints. How they enjoy living their dream and watching their business scale. Get the exact checklists they use to go from stressed to fulfilled using the Strategy Sprints method. Order your copy of Strategy Sprints 12 Ways to Accelerate Growth for an Agile Business on Amazon today. And if you love it, leave us a review. For more information, head over to strategysprints.com.
Blah, 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 blah.